Hey, welcome back to another video. I hope you're all well. Today I'm going to talk to you about how I lost 1 pound of fat in a week without going to the gym. So for those of you who kind of think, well, whoa, you know what's happened? How did you do that? Did you lose weight or did you just lose fat? I lost both fat and I lost weight. And the reason why I know I lost both is because I took measurements. Okay, so I backed up the weight on the scale with measurements, and that's been sustained throughout this whole week now, after the week that I've just had. So the weight on the scale has remained lower. Okay, it hasn't gone up to what it was before I did this experiment. So first of all, why have I not been to the gym? To cut a long story short, I went to the gym after a break up in Minnesota, visiting my brother who got married to his long-term girlfriend, and I did something very, very stupid. I started doing pull-ups, which I haven't done for over a year, and I was doing them both with speed, and I wasn't doing the right form. So I violated my anatomy, and I didn't respect my body or my state at that particular time, having not eaten properly for a week, eating junk food, not being hydrated, etc., etc. So I did something to kind of all sorts of things happened. There's muscles and the kind of nerves in the spinal cord weren't communicating with the neck or with the brain. The muscles and the nerves in the neck as well. And also the vestibular system, which is kind of the system inside the ears, which controls your balance and stuff, was sort of, so we say, not working properly. So I ended up fainting twice. Now I went to see my not a neurologist, a guy that deals with these kind of things, speciality with nerves and stuff, and he's helped me to get better. Anyway, so I haven't been able to be in the gym since. So I thought I'll try this because I've been putting it off for a while, but last week with the heat wave that we've had, I thought, well, it's the perfect time to try it. Why? Because the barbecues come out, and it makes it easier to stick to something when it's out of your kind of routine. To be able to give you guys an example, I have 4 meals a day, 3 main meals plus a snack, and with this diet last week, I was having majority of my calories in one go with the barbecue, because it makes it easier to eat all these kind of proteins in one go when you are having fun. Okay, it's sort of out of your routine, so you don't really want to sit at a dinner table and have a chicken breast, a shrimp, another chicken breast, another shrimp, and all this kind of thing, because you're just like, gosh, you know, I can't be bothered. But you're sitting outside, you're enjoying the sun, and you're doing something out of your normal routine. So here's exactly what I did. Monday to Thursday, before I say that, my maintenance calories is somewhere between 2750 to 2800. I went on an aggressive cut of 750 calorie deficit on these 4 days. The only exercise I did was walk 2 hours a day. So I walked an hour in the morning and an hour in the evening on the beach, and I stayed active throughout the whole day. Now the walking wasn't really very fast. It was between 11 and 13 kilometers. Yeah, the pace was between 11 and 13 kilometers, and an hour, something like that. Anyway, okay, but it wasn't very fast. Okay, but I stayed active. Now, non-exercise activity thermogenesis, which is NEAT, the short, does more. It differs between people who are sedentary and active. So 60% of total daily calories in active, and 15% of total daily calories in sedentary people. So if you're active, 60% of your total calories are burned through NEAT. If you're not active, it's 15%. So you can see the difference is night and day. All right, and that can literally make or break your fat loss, because it's going to the gym for an hour is not really going to burn a lot of calories, because you are awake for, let's just say that you sleep for 8 hours a day, 24 hours a day, that's 16 hours. You go to the gym for an hour, 15 hours, 8 hours at work, there and back roughly. The travel, you're talking about 7 hours. So for those 7 hours that you're awake, if you're not doing anything, then you're not going to be burning a lot of calories. Those 7 hours are your chance to burn a lot of calories. Okay? Anyway, so Monday to Thursday, I bumped up my calories with protein to 60% of the total calories. 60%, so that means 1,200 calories came from protein alone. Carbs were down at 5% and fats were up 35%. Now, one thing with protein, if you're going to do something like this, then make sure you have a lot of veg, a lot of fiber, and a lot of water. Because otherwise a trip to the bathroom is going to be very, very painful. Okay, you're going to get constipation, and you don't want to just eat protein on its own. You make sure that you have some fiber. So what I had shrimp, I had white fish, tilapia, haddock, I had low-fat burgers, I had shrimps as well, okay, and I had tomatoes and onions as well with the barbecue. So that made it even kind of easier. So you know, when you're cooking a normal chicken, when you're doing a barbecue and you're cooking a chicken breast, you're going to marinate it in all sorts of lemons and stuff like this. It becomes a lot easier to eat, and it tastes a lot different than just frying it. Okay, it doesn't taste as bland when you're frying it. So as a general rule, when you are increasing the fats, the carbs will come down, protein has to stay the same. So on the Friday, I went back to my normal, or shall we say not normal, but I increased my calories slightly to 2,500. Going to 40% protein, 30 fats and carbs. Now you don't have to do it exactly the same, 40, 30, 30. Whichever way you want, it doesn't really matter, as long as you're getting 1 gram per pound of body weight from protein. It doesn't matter which percentage you do it in. Okay, so I went back to 2,500, which is still 250 below my maintenance calories. Saturday and Sunday I had 2 refeed days. Now refeed is where you basically have a lot more calories, and now these calories these calories are from carbs, because you do not store carbs as fat. Okay, very, very rarely do you store carbs as fat. It's only when you are having excess carbs and fats they get stored as fat. Okay, so what also happened, because I was so low on carbs throughout those 4 days, actually my body wanted all those carbs. Okay, so they all went towards the muscles and towards everything else rather than towards my fat source. So I kept the fats lower during those 2 days, but I increased the carbs. Protein stayed a little bit lower. Okay, and the whole idea behind the refeed days is to kickstart the metabolism, because after about 4 or 5 days of dieting, leptin levels start to fall. Leptin is our master hormone that controls your metabolism. It controls the T3, T4, and your TSH, which are all your thyroid hormones, okay, as well as other processes. When you suddenly give it all this influx of carbs, it starts to accelerate everything, and your metabolism start being accelerated. So before the body has a chance to think, oh, you know, I'm low on calories, then you start to increase the calories slightly so that you start to kickstart metabolism, and everything else will start, and then everything else will start becoming normal. So if you add up all the calories throughout the week that I had, they'll come to well under 2,750. Okay, and that's the whole reason behind it, is the average calories per week goes down. Okay, as long as you average below maintenance calories over the week, then you should be losing body fat using a few tactics like staying active. Now, you don't have to refeed days unless you're at super low body fat levels. I don't recommend that you have 2 refeed days. 1 refeed day is enough, and you can just go back to normal on the Sunday, for example, if you wanted. Or you can just choose a Saturday. On a Saturday, you do the same as Friday, and then you have a refeed day on a Sunday, whichever one you prefer. Okay, so that's how I lost 1 pound of body fat, guys, in the week without going to the gym. Now, this can only be done for like 3 to 4 weeks before you start to increase your calories back to maintenance, or go on the normal 40, 30, 30, or whatever percentage that you have from fats or carbs. Okay, as long as you have 1 gram per pound of body weight from protein. And the reason being is because the body starts to adapt after a period of like 4 weeks, and it becomes a lot less of a shock tactic. So basically use this as a shock tactic rather than a diet that I'm going to carry on for a period of time. I haven't tried it this week so far, okay, simply because I have not had the time to be able to do barbecues, but it'll be interesting to do the same thing again in the next few weeks and see whether the same result will happen, which I'm sure it will. Okay, but it'll be interesting to do with actually going to the gym and see how much fat I can lose just by going to the gym. All right, if you're going to use it when you're going to the gym, then I recommend doing a lactic acid workout. So we select like 3 to 4 exercises and do them back to back. You don't want to do high reps, you don't want to do an awful lot of volume either, you just want to have just enough. So between 6 to 8 reps, I'll select your 8 to 10 rep max and do between 4 to 6, maybe even 8 reps. So aim for about 3 to 5 rounds, okay, depending on how fit you are. Try and stay with the same weight throughout the whole entire period. Now, the way to judge whether the weight was right for you or not is by your intensity. If you're able to keep up your intensity and using the same weight and completing the exercises within the same time, then you've got just the right amount of weight. If not, you might need to rest a little bit longer. All right, guys, so I hope this video was helpful for you. Let me know by leaving me a like if you find this video helpful. Share it with friends, family, co-workers, whoever else you think this video will help, and subscribe below. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you get notifications when the video is up. All right, guys, bye for now.